killed you. I'm looking at my life in the past 8 to 9 months. I'm like, whoa. Like, bro, these songs are soundtracking my life.
When cops finally popped open the frunk, what they uncovered looked like a scene ripped straight from a crime thriller, black plastic bags stuffed inside. And when investigators cut those bags open, the nightmare deepened. Dismembered, decomposed remains of a young girl. She was later identified as Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a Houston native who had vanished back on April 5th, 2024, at just 13 years old, after being reported missing from Lake Elsinore in Riverside County. By the time her remains were discovered, she was only 15. And here's where it gets chilling. This wasn't just some random Tesla. The car was registered directly to David Anthony Burke, better known as D4vd. From that moment forward, his name was tattooed onto this tragedy forever. LAPD didn't play around. They immediately classified it as a homicide investigation. And while he hasn't been officially arrested or charged yet, the discovery alone was enough to send shockwaves through his life and career. The world that once crowned him a star was now crumbling under suspicion and horror. Suddenly, the kid who rose to fame with romantic homicide was now standing at the center of a real-life homicide probe. Nothing in the industry moved the same after that. The public turned savage, doing what it always does best, digging through receipts. Fans unearthed old photos and videos of D4v hanging around with a girl who looked eerily like Celeste back in 2023 and 2024. One clip even caught him dodging questions on camera. "Oh, look it! Answer that one! That's so mean if you don't answer!" His nervous laugh in the footage now feels haunting. Then came the alleged Discord leaks, screenshots claiming he confessed to being obsessed with gore videos, even bragging about helping Celeste to sneak away from home. Whether real or fake, those receipts spread like wildfire, and the most twisted part, his own lyrics started being dissected like hidden confessions. That breakout hit, Romantic Homicide, has the line, "In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it." But it's true. He always swore it was just metaphorical. But now, with a body literally pulled out of his Tesla, people are calling those bars downright prophetic. Then came the bombshell. An unreleased track called Celeste, recorded back in late 2023, suddenly leaked online. The lyrics hit like a gut punch, references to obsession, tattoos, intimacy, and depression that now sounded less like art and more like a dark diary of his ties to Hernandez. Overnight, the song twisted from unreleased music to what many were calling a confession on wax. So while the justice system was still piecing evidence together, the court of public opinion was already slamming the gavel, judging him guilty in real time. And here's where the money nightmare kicks in. Because scandals of this size don't just shatter reputations, they drain bank accounts dry. Look at the numbers and you'll see why insiders are whispering that bankruptcy isn't just possible, it's practically inevitable. Start with legal fees. High-profile homicide cases in Los Angeles, they're brutal. We're talking a minimum of $100,000 just to get started, and that can easily triple. Top criminal attorneys charge hundreds of dollars per hour, and if you want the best, you better lock them in early. But here's the kicker. That's only the baseline. Those fees don't even include pre-trial motions, jury consultants, expert witnesses, private investigators, or forensic specialists. If the case actually hits trial, the bill rockets into the stratosphere. Well over $500,000, and D4d. By September 12th, just 4 days after cops found the Tesla, he had already brought in a crisis management firm. That's serious PR firepower, plus forensic experts, all paid up front. Word on the street is that those moves alone cost him nearly $1 million in less than a week.
I decided to do, and I killed her in the back of my mind. It was really more of a figurative I killed you, especially in the back of my mind. I try to stress that in the back of my mind. That's why I say it so loud. In the back of my mind, you died. In the back of my mind, I killed you. So it's all in the mind.
Think about that. He's worth around $2 million, and already half of it's been torched just on lawyers and PR damage control. In a blink, the same fortune that once symbolized success was now fueling a desperate fight for survival. And the meter is still running. If an indictment drops, those costs don't just rise, they explode. We're talking legal fees doubling, maybe even tripling. And the truth is, D4vd simply doesn't have that kind of liquid cash sitting around. One indictment alone could financially bury him before a jury even hears his name. And that's just the start, because now the civil suits are lining up. Hernandez's family isn't staying quiet. They've already vowed to go after justice through a wrongful death lawsuit. Cases like this can easily stretch into multi-million-dollar territory. Think Nipsey Hussle lawsuit levels. And then there are the whispers about hush money payouts. Word is, other underage fans could come forward claiming coercion, exploitation, or damages. Each individual claim could range from $5,000 to $10,000. And when you start multiplying that across multiple alleged victims, those numbers stack into the hundreds of thousands real quick. And don't forget this crucial point. Insurance companies don't cover intentional acts, meaning if any of these lawsuits stick, the payouts come straight from his own pockets. That's potentially another million or two evaporating by 2026, on top of the criminal defense bills already draining his fortune. But the bleeding doesn't stop in the courtroom, it's wrecking his music bag too. The Withered World Tour was his main bread and butter, projected to gross tens of millions globally. But after September 8th, the tour fell apart like glass. By September 18th, 2025, he had officially canceled both U.S. arena shows in New York and Los Angeles, plus the entire European leg. To make matters worse, he pulled the plug on the highly anticipated deluxe edition of Withered after Celeste's body was identified. That move alone was a $1 to $2 million direct hit to his income. And then the industry turned its back. Promoters scrubbed his name, pulled his face off billboards, deleted campaigns, and erased him from promotional material overnight. The machine that once pushed him as the next big superstar was now treating him like a liability they couldn't run from fast enough. And here's where the collapse got even uglier. Refunds. Every venue he'd booked demanded their money back. And fans who had already spent hard cash on tickets had to be reimbursed in full. Instead of tours stacking his pockets, the whole operation flipped into a financial black hole. Even merch couldn't save him. He had to pull entire collections, including that infamous bloody shirt design that people dragged online for being in bad taste. What should have been profit turned into another embarrassing expense. And then the brand empire crumbled overnight. Within just 7 days, every endorsement deal he had unraveled like thread. Hollister cut ties on September 9th. Crocs dropped him right after. Key Ooks quietly erased their collab post by September 19th. And the final nail? Interscope Records froze all promotion on September 18th. That's millions gone.
In 2023, he did reportedly record a song, which was called Celeste. And he kind of talks about, you know, this girl that he's in love with. And I think he mentioned something about a tattoo on her chest.
Just from brands jumping ship, it didn't stop there. Streaming platforms joined in on the blackout. Spotify demoted him from playlists, which slashed his royalties by nearly 70% instantly. And the whispers of major future deals? Dead. The Nike and Red Bull talks? Vaporized. Nobody in corporate America wants their logo tied to a homicide headline. In just 1 month, his entire financial future disintegrated before his eyes. And while the income streams dried up, the baseline cost of being a star kept piling on. You gotta understand, when you're living at his level, bills don't just pause because the career does. The mansions, the cars, the staff, they all still demand payment. Even his own Tesla, the one at the center of the investigation, was sitting in impound, and he's paying upwards of $10,000 just to get it released. But with royalties frozen pending the ongoing investigation, not a single dollar is flowing in to balance the madness. The lifestyle stayed expensive, but the money faucet got shut off completely. And now, it's just bleeding cash with no refill in sight. Do the math, $2 million net worth burning through $500,000 every single month. That means by October, he's flatlined financially. That's why industry analysts aren't calling this speculation anymore. They're calling it straight arithmetic. The math doesn't lie, and the math is brutal. Now let's play out scenarios. Best case, if by some miracle he's cleared by December, analysts predict he could survive with only a $1 to $2 million hit and maybe even spin the scandal into a twisted boost if streams spike off the chaos. But that's pure optimism. The realistic baseline looks way darker. Severe financial collapse within 9 months. If an indictment comes down, the drain doubles overnight. That means his only moves left are selling assets, liquidating everything he owns, or filing for bankruptcy by mid-2026. And that right there is the scenario most analysts say is inevitable. And don't think this is some brand new story. It's practically a ritual in the music industry. TLC filed for bankruptcy while still going platinum. Tony Braxton lost it all not once, but twice. MC Hammer went from $30 million to nothing. 50 Cent had to file Chapter 11 in 2015, even with a paper worth of $155 million. And R. Kelly? His entire empire evaporated under the weight of lawsuits and court battles. It's the same pattern every single time. Young artists blow up fast, get caught in scandals or lawsuits, and suddenly the bills start swinging harder than the checks coming in. And now, at just 20 years old, D4D is being dragged into that same cycle, except his fall is even sharper, even faster. What makes his downfall extra tragic is how viciously the industry flipped on him. On September 7th, he was performing sold-out shows in Chicago, still moving like a rising superstar. By September 8th, the LAPD had his Tesla splashed across the evening news. By September 11th, brands started cutting ties one after another. By September 18th, his label froze all promotion, leaving him out in the cold. And by September 20th, even his fan base split in two, half branding him a monster, half defending his music as life-saving art. But here's the harsh reality. In the money game, fan loyalty doesn't mean a damn thing. Boycotts kill streams, venues blacklist your name, sponsors pull the plug, and once the machine stops moving, it doesn't restart. That's how quick a $2 million dream can collapse into ashes. So when headlines say D4vd is revealing bankruptcy after murdering his girlfriend, it's not exaggeration. It's the raw, ugly truth of how scandal rips both careers and bank accounts to shreds. The facts add up. The case drained his money. The brands abandoned him. The tours collapsed. The lawsuits stacked. And the burn rate was so high, he couldn't keep up. From TikTok closet recordings to a $2 million net worth in just a couple of years. Now, in only weeks, he was already sliding into broke. But the money wasn't the only thing decaying. Something darker was waiting. On September 8th, 2025, LAPD got a call from a tow yard in the Hollywood Hills. Workers had been complaining about a foul stench seeping from a black 2023 Tesla Model 3 that had been sitting there for a month. At first, they thought it was rotten food, but when officers popped the frunk, they found black plastic bags. Inside wasn't trash. It was the dismembered, decomposed body of a young girl. Forensics later confirmed her as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a Houston native reported missing since April 2024, when she was just 13. That discovery flipped this story from abandoned car to one of the most shocking celebrity-connected cases in years. And when LAPD ran the plates, they saw the Tesla was registered to David Anthony Burke, D4vd. His name hit headlines worldwide before he even knew what was happening. The condition of the body only fueled the chaos. Reports said the remains were badly decomposed and partially dismembered, forcing forensics to work overtime just to extract evidence. At first, they couldn't even identify her, but dental records and DNA confirmed the victim as Celeste Rivas Hernandez. That's when the scandal officially had a name and a face. Now, the reason this case spiraled so fast is because whispers about D4vd and Hernandez had been floating around long before the Tesla discovery. Back in 2023, screenshots from alleged Discord chats started circulating, where D4, then 18, hinted at talking to younger girls. Around that same time, he was privately messaging Hernandez, who was only 13 or 14. Photos and videos later surfaced of them at Houston events together. They even had matching tattoos, which fans immediately linked to his 2023 EP Petals to Thorns. Hernandez's brother reportedly went to Houston police in 2023 about a possible grooming situation. But when officers did a welfare check at D4vd's house, they claimed they found no evidence and closed the case. Still, the rumors never died, and when Hernandez went missing in 2024, some fans connected the dots, but the story never hit mainstream. That all changed when her body was discovered in his car. Suddenly, every old whisper roared back like gasoline on a fire. On September 18, 2025, the LAPD searched a Hollywood Hills residence previously occupied by Burke, confiscating a computer and other evidence as part of the investigation. So, even without an arrest, the narrative already looks devastating. A missing girl, a body in your car, tattoos tied to your album, cops raiding your house. That's more than enough to brand you guilty in the court of public opinion. One of the eeriest parts of this entire case is how D4vd's own music now feels like foreshadowing. Romantic Homicide, his 2022 breakout hit recorded in his sister's closet, blew up on TikTok for its chilling lyrics about killing love. But once news broke that a body had been discovered in his Tesla, the line, "In the back of my mind, I killed you and I didn't even regret it," hit differently. Fans stopped hearing it as metaphor and started calling it a confession. Then came the unreleased track Celeste, leaked online right after the scandal erupted. The lyrics talked about obsession, tattoos, and missing someone so deeply it led to depression. Hernandez's family confirmed her boyfriend's name was David, the same as D4v, and that they had matching tattoos. Online detectives instantly labeled the song a love letter turned evidence. Whether that's truth or coincidence doesn't matter in the internet era. Social media doesn't wait for investigations or reports. It builds its own case in real time. Even the autopsy hasn't brought clarity. The remains were so badly decomposed that the coroner delayed ruling on the cause of death. Toxicology tests are still pending, leaving the exact circumstances of Hernandez's death unknown. And that vacuum of facts? It's been filled by theories. Some believe she may have overdosed and that the body was hidden to avoid exposure. Others speculate she could have been pregnant, and that fear of the fallout pushed things to a darker place. While conspiracy theories on social media suggested the body was planted in his Tesla to frame him or destroy his career, the only thing confirmed is this: LAPD is treating the case as a homicide. They've received thousands of tips from fans worldwide and already raided his Hollywood Hills residence, confiscating devices and searching for evidence. The smoke is too thick for people to believe he's innocent, even without a single charge filed. The way this story exploded online is a case study in how fast reputations die in 2025. On Twitter, hashtags dominated timelines, hashtag D4vd, #Justice for Celeste, with threads dissecting Discord leaks, old lyrics, tattoos, and cryptic posts. Some fans defended him, writing, "His music saved my life. I don't believe he could do this." Others were merciless, branding him a monster, a killer hiding behind sad boy lyrics. The split was instant, but the fallout was absolute. No brand, no label, no promoter wants to stand next to someone trending for murder. And that's why the financial collapse we laid out earlier hit so hard. Once social media convicts you, the money disappears long before the courts ever do. It didn't help that Hernandez's family stepped forward publicly, demanding justice and saying they believed she was groomed. Overnight, the narrative shifted from celebrity scandal to system failure. A story of police ignoring red flags until a young girl ended up dead. That angle only poured gasoline on the outrage. Every fan thread, every TikTok analysis, every Reddit post dissecting his lyrics, tattoos, and old photos made him look worse. Even former teachers and Discord moderators came out with stories about Hernandez meeting him online, stacking more smoke on an already blazing fire. And when people lined this case up against past scandals in music, the comparisons were brutal. Some pointed to R. Kelly, who built an empire on predation, only to watch it collapse under lawsuits and the hashtag #MuteRKKelly movement. Others drew parallels to XXXTentacion, whose violent charges split fans between defenders and critics while his SoundCloud streams exploded. And then there was Tay K, who recorded his breakout hit The Race while literally on the run for capital murder. In all those cases, the streams didn't stop, but the careers did. Labels cut ties, brands bailed, lawsuits piled up, and bankruptcy became inevitable. And now, D4v is standing in that exact same lane. The bottom line is this: the homicide investigation, the body in the Tesla, the resurfaced grooming claims, the prophetic lyrics, the canceled tours, the vanished endorsements, the non-stop social media outrage, it all collides into one unstoppable storm. Whether he's ever officially charged or not, the damage is irreversible. His name will forever be tied to Celeste Hernandez. His lyrics are now read as confessions, and his money is vanishing faster than he can count it. The LAPD might take months to announce charges. The autopsy could drag out for weeks. But the court of public opinion has already delivered its verdict: guilty. So now that we've broken down the financial collapse and the murder case timeline, it's time to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. The part haunting fans the most, the music itself. Because if the internet loves anything, it's playing detective. And in this case, D4vd's catalog has been dissected like crime scene evidence. Every lyric, every title, every tattoo connection has been spun into prophecy or confession. Layer that against the long history of artists who've lost everything to legal scandals, and what you see isn't just a young star in crisis. It's a pattern repeating in music history. And it all starts with the track that made him famous, Romantic Homicide. Dropping in July 2022, recorded in his sister's closet with nothing but an iPhone and the free BandLab app. It was moody, cinematic, tailor-made for TikTok edits. Gen Z ran with it, breakup edits, crying at 3 a.m. videos, heartbreak aesthetics. The song peaked at number 33 on the Billboard Hot 100. But now, in 2025, people don't hear it the same way. The lyrics that once sounded like metaphor suddenly sound like evidence. In the back of my mind, you died and I didn't even cry. In the back of my mind, I killed you and I didn't even regret it. Those lines are being quoted everywhere. Reddit threads, TikTok breakdowns, YouTube conspiracy videos, like they were a preview of what police would later find in his Tesla. The history of music is packed with artists who went broke or got wiped out by scandals. 50 Cent, a legend with vitamin water deals and a net worth once sitting at $155 million, filed Chapter 11 in 2015 when lawsuits piled up to $78 million. Meatloaf, Sly Stone, Willie Nelson, all of them watched empires crumble under IRS battles, lawsuits, and drama. The common thread, the money was never enough to outlast the chaos. Legal fees balloon, civil suits drain millions. Brands pull away, labels freeze checks, and before long, the same artists who once had it all are liquidating assets or filing bankruptcy. D4vd's case is the same story on Fast Forward. He's only 20. He doesn't have decades of royalties to fall back on. He doesn't have a loyal older fan base willing to look past scandals. His audience is Gen Z, and Gen Z moves on quickly. That's why analysts project he could be broke by the end of the year if nothing changes. And this isn't just about money. His legacy, his music, his name, all permanently changed. Even if he's never charged, the stain of this scandal won't wash off. He could drop another hit tomorrow and the comments would still say killer or predator. Every lyric, tattoo, or photo will be reinterpreted through the lens of this case. That's why his odds of recovery are so low. He isn't just fighting the LAPD, he's fighting the internet, the industry, and history itself. Some fans hope for a comeback. Maybe a redemption arc like Justin Bieber after his scandals, or a troll-powered run like 6ix9ine who leaned into infamy. But the difference here is the nature of the allegations. Grooming and murder of a minor isn't a scandal you bounce back from with a hit single. Labels won't risk it, brands won't touch it, even loyal fans won't be loud enough to drown out the backlash. Best case, he beats the charges and finds a way to live underground, making music for a niche audience. Worst case, bankruptcy, prison, and a name forever tied to one of the darkest stories in music history. And with that, we've reached the end of this deep dive. For more stories like this, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and check out the cards on screen for more videos. Don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you.